afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Y'all hear me? You can't hear it? I can't hear myself hear my, I don't know. All right, so welcome everybody to this meeting of the Blueprint Board of Directors. We're going to call the meeting to order. I want to remind everyone to please be on our best behavior, treat each other professionally and with respect. We will hang out with Robert's Rules of Order and refer to our attorney should we have any conflicts. With that being said, Mr. White, will you get us going with agenda modifications?
Thank you, Chairman. There are no agenda modifications. However, Director Cummings has requested to participate telephonically, and per your policy, the IA Board will need to vote to approve.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second for Commissioner Cummings to participate via the phone. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Commissioners, the AV staff wanted me to remind us to please speak into our microphones. I guess you got to get a little direct on them for them to pick us up. All right, Mr. White, do we have any citizens to be heard?
We do.
Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Otis Kirksey. Name and address for the record, please.
Why is this microphone so high?
Yes, sir, you're good to go.
Good afternoon. My name is Otis Kirksey. Live at 2259 Upland Way, Tallahassee 32311. So good evening again. Good afternoon again. I'm representing Neighborhood Medical Center. I'm the Director of Pharmacy Services there, and I'm accompanied by several of our board members and members of our executive staff. Here to present a presentation on a non-competitive grant request for the establishment of an in-house pharmacy at our South Monroe location. This is a major milestone for neighborhood. We've been in the community of almost 40 years, and we've been providing good primary care, comprehensive care to patients. What we've not been able to do is offer pharmacy services. And as you know, pharmacy services is a critical component in the overall therapy of patients. Having access to affordable medications is huge. We opened up our new location, which is strategically placed on the south side of Tallahassee. And as you know, that is a pharmacy desert. And so we strategically, when we got the licensing for this pharmacy, that we made sure that we had the capacity to provide retail pharmacy services as well. So with our drive-through and walk-up services, once we're up and running, we'll be able to offer services to the neighborhood. So first slide. So I mentioned earlier in terms of we have several locations here in Tallahassee, 2 locations within facilities owned by the City of Tallahassee, one the old Lincoln High School on Brevard Street and the Smith-Williams Center there. We also have a clinic embedded at Rickards High School, and how many is that? And then the newer location, which is on South Monroe. We have about 9,000 patients that we provide care to, and we offer comprehensive care from primary care to mental health to dental, OBGYN, and so forth. Next slide.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, sir, you have a 3-minute time limit on
she can't. No, I thought I had 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I think you have 30 seconds left. That's correct.
30 seconds left?
Yes, sir, you have a 3-minute time period. You're at 2 minutes
I didn't know
like
I was
30 seconds.
Oh, man, that went by real fast.
I know.
So I have a one-page. I'm always prepared. I was
That's
a Boy
fine.
Scout. So I have a one-pager that
staff
summarizes.
Can pass that out. Yes,
We
sir.
are asking for $375,000 to assist in opening that pharmacy. That those funds will be used for staffing, to purchase our initial drug formulary and so forth. We've already done the build out, so this is actually just to supplement the request.
Thank you, Mr. Kirksey. We will allow commissioners during discussion time, directors to, bring that back up if that's okay with you guys, in terms of the request for the analysis on the non-competitive grant. Yes, ma'am.
May we ask any questions now, or are you planning to stick around?
That's fine. Yeah, Mr. Kirksey, do you mind? Go ahead, Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a quick question. Just so I understand, will general members of the public also be able to use the pharmacy?
Yes, Commissioner, that's what I was alluding to when I said that the retail
Right, okay.
price, right, so, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions for Mr. Kirksey? Mr. Kirksey, we will obviously try to move through our agenda as quick as possible to get to director discussion, and so hopefully if you want to stick around, maybe there's any other questions or anything like that. But seeing none at this moment, at this time we're going to move on to informational items and presentations. Mr. Director White.
Thank you, Chairman. We have no presentations.
All right, cool beans. We're on to consent.
Oh, we have another speaker.
Oh, never mind. We got another speaker. Sorry.
Mr. Stanley Sims. Name and address for the record, please.
Stanley Sims. I'm at 1320 Avondale Way. I stand in strong support of this neighborhood medical center. As you know, as what he alluded to, this is a pharmacy desert. And with the hospital just being given away the other night, and we don't even know what direction it's going or when whatever it's going to do going to get here, this is a good backup, especially for those that are economically challenged. I'm very excited to see this going. And what I love about this, they didn't come empty-handed. If you look at the breakout cane, they come in to say, hey, we've got some money, but we need a little bit more. Why I'm really supporting this, because when our community is healthy, then our workforce is healthy. When our workforce is healthy, that makes our economic system here in Leon County strong. And so again, I'm asking of you, to really think upon this very positively. Did I say everything? And so we're just asking your support for this.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Mr. White, informational items, none, you said?
There are none.
All right, Commissioners, we're on to the consent agenda. Awesome. Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Vice Chair. We've got a motion for consent and a second from Commissioner Porter. Is there any discussion? All right, that's just approval of our minutes from our last meeting in November. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of consent signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioners. We are now on general business, item number 5.
Mr. Chair, it's Carolyn Cummings. Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. I apologize. Did you have any questions for Mr. Kirksey, Commissioner Cummings, or on consent?
No, sir. I had no questions. Just totally support his request. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And just feel free to jump in there, Commissioner Cummings, because I might forget unintentionally. So just speak up whenever you want to talk.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
All right, Mr. White, we're on general business.
Thank you, Directors. This item seeks your appointment of 2 people to the Blueprint Citizens Advisory Committee. The recommended action is to approve the appointment of Gloria Pugh to the CAC as the nominee from the Greater Tallahassee Chamber, and then also to appoint 1 person from among the 3 applicants we received for the natural scientist biologist position. We received applications from Stephen Brighton, Craig Diamond, and Danielle Irwin, so we're looking for you to select among those 3 1 person to fill the natural scientist biologist role.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Caban actually had his little thing up. Commissioner Williams-Cox, if that's okay, so we'll recognize Commissioner Caban first, and then we'll come to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be a gentleman and defer to Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Perfect. Commissioner Williams-Cox, you have the floor.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to do these separately. I just had a question. We're going to do these.
You can ask questions as you want.
No, No, are we going to entertain the
Totally up to-
appointments? Okay.
Whoever makes the motion, it's up to you. You can do both of them. You can do staff recommendation, or there's only one for option one. So option two, you just kind of choose which one you want to move with.
Okay, was going to just offer the motion to approve Gloria Pugh.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion for option one and a second. Any discussion on that item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Option one passes unanimously. Thank you, commissioners. We're now on option two. Commissioner Williams-Cox, would you like, Commissioner, you want to go with that one too? Commissioner Caban, go for it.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to appoint Danielle Irwin for option 2.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion for Danielle Irwin for the Citizens Advisory Committee, option number 2, scientist biologist position. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes unanimously. Commissioner Cummings, you good?
Yes, I voted aye on both.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Passes unanimously. Commissioner Maddox, go ahead.
Thank you. Can the record show me in the affirmative of all the votes taken?
Yes, sir, you got it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, y'all got that? It was consent, he's affirmative, and option 1, he's affirmative on general business, and I think that's it, right?
Right, and option 2 for.
Oh, and the Commissioner Cummings motion to participate, also affirmative on that. Let's go to item number 3. Mr. White?
Thank you, Chairman. Directors, this item seeks your authorization to commence the process to obtain bond financing. This is consistent with your IA board-approved long-term funding strategy, as is included in the adopted fiscal year 26 budget. This item does not impact the project list or the prioritization, but continues the momentum on the projects as you approved in the 5-year capital improvements plan. Autumn does have a brief presentation on this item.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Calder, you have the floor.
Great, and I will be brief. This 2026 bond is a key component of almost a decade worth of IA board project prioritization and funding direction. Today, we're seeking authorization to obtain bond financing to continue the implementation of the Blueprint infrastructure projects as approved and prioritized by the IA board. Obtaining bond financing provides for earlier implementation of the projects than otherwise waiting for the sales tax revenues to roll in. The funding will go towards congestion-reducing projects like the Northeast Gateway and the widening of Bannerman Road, key Southside projects that spur economic and community revitalization like the Airport Gateway and the Fairgrounds redevelopment, as well as safety improvements across the county and multimodal improvements like projects like Tharp Street. We're supported by an expert team. These are the same advisors that have been with us for the prior 2 successful bond issuances. And today, we're asking the IA board to approve option number 1.
Move staff recommendation.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion for staff recommendation from Commissioner Maddox, second from Commissioner Minor. Commissioners, if you want to speak, the raising the thing is the way to go. Commissioner Minor, you are in discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to thank our staff for working on this. This is a long time coming. During our briefing, we talked about how this is the 3rd and expected to be the final bond issuance for the Blueprint cycle that we're in. So this is a big deal. And happy to support this and want to thank our staff for all their work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Minor. Commissioner Caban.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First off, I want to say this series of bond approval goes to a lot of great projects. Very appreciative of the work that's being done on Tharp Street. If you recall, a few years ago, we worked to move that project forward, and I'm happy with the designs. I'd like to see it moving forward. However, Mr. Chair, if I may ask Commissioner Maddox, the maker of the motion, to amend the motion.
Absolutely.
I would like to, Commissioner Maddox, could you amend the motion to approve all the bonds except the Airport Gateway? I want to vote yes on all the other projects, but I don't want to vote on the Airport Gateway bonds. And so I'm assuming we could just pick that up in another motion after that.
I'll set modification.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got a,
Mr. Chair.
Madam Attorney?
That would make the motion improper because the board has approved funding for the Airport Gateway project back in September by motion. So basically, you would be amending something that you previously approved.
I mean, we can't even bifurcate it like that, so he can vote. We'll vote separately on the Airport Gateway, so it's not like we're not voting on it. We're going to vote on it separately in a separate vote. You see what I'm saying? We're just subtracting it from the motion that Commissioner Maddox made for all the other projects, and then we'll vote on Airport Gateway separately. We can do that, can't we?
I'm not sure I follow the reasoning on that because the bond is to fund all of the projects.
Yeah, well,
And the
I think the reasoning
motion
is
that was
to bifurcate it.
Respectfully, sir, the motion that was approved back in September to fund the agency's budget included all of those projects. So by undoing that or trying to amend that somehow, you are essentially amending something that you previously approved. You could certainly do a budget amendment, but that would require an agenda item to come back to this board.
Mr. Chair, if I may take a stab at it.
Sure.
I fully intend, Madam Dawson, for this second motion on the airport gateway funding to pass. So I don't think that there is going to be an amendment to the budget item. I just would like to vote no on it. And I was trying to just kind of keep it super collegial in how I bring it up. But if I need to expand, the blueprint still has not acquired segment C of the project, which takes a vote by the Florida cabinet to acquire that land, which has not been done. Previously, your guidance to this board was that that land would be automatically transferred to us after the signature by Florida State on the contract. I asked you if that was binding, and you said it was binding on the record, which the land cannot be given to us by Florida State. It can only be given to us by a vote of the Florida cabinet. So we are bonding money for segment C on the airport gateway without even owning the land or having any certainty from the state of Florida that we will get the land. I think that's misfeasance of this board. So again, I would just like to vote no on the airport gateway bonds and move on from this project. I'm happy to support all the rest of them. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Cavan.
If I could just clarify.
Go ahead.
I believe that I explained that the process regarding the property that will be used to build segment C, which is currently leased by FSU from the TIFT, which is state-owned lands, would require an application. That has always been stated. FSU does not have the authority to just give us land that they're leasing from the state. So that is definitely an incorrect interpretation. I would not have said that because I have been working on that segment with FSU Council and their staff for quite some time. So that would not have been a statement that I would have made, that FSU can just give us the land. But anyhow, however the chair wishes to proceed, I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Commissioner, can we get a minor? You want to go again, or, I'm sorry, Commissioner Matlow? Let's don't get into a back and forth.
I'm not getting into back and forth. I would like to hear other commissioners. All I want to do is vote no on those bonds.
I understand, yeah.
And yes on the other ones.
The seconder of the motion.
Yeah, well, let me just, let's don't go down this rabbit hole. Madam Attorney, I don't understand what you're saying. In terms of bifurcating the vote, it's not like we're amending anything or changing any budget items. He doesn't want to vote on that item. It's a package of projects within the bond issuance. We can vote on a motion that excludes Airport Gateway, and then we can vote again on a motion that includes Airport Gateway, and I don't see how that's a problem, just to bifurcate the vote. We're still voting on it. Nothing's changing. And so that's what we're going to do after Commissioner Matlow and whoever else wants to speak on that.
I'm sorry. If the parliamentarian of the board deems a motion to be improper, what does that mean as far as the passing of the motion if it's going to pass? Exactly. Is the passing of the motion still valid? I think we got to ask that question before we move on.
I don't know, man. We're the board. There's no these are operating in like a box. They're in a vacuum. Nothing, the outcome would not change except there would be a vote in which Commissioner Caban did not vote for that item. That makes, I think the parliamentarian is misunderstanding what we're trying to do here. It's a simple bifurcation. And so it literally changes no outcome except he doesn't have to vote on that item, and it helps us move the item.
Can I ask that question of the parliamentarian? I understand, Madam Attorney, that you have said that the motion is invalid. If the chairman wants to move forward with the motion as is and it passes, would that motion be recognized or can it be challenged in any way?
When you say challenged in any way, what are you talking about?
So if it's improper, what does it mean if we pass an improper motion?
The chair can decide whether or not to accept the advice of the
Okay.
parliamentarian. So if the chair wants to move forward, that's the chair's prerogative to do so.
All right, great. Thank you.
Commissioner Matlow, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question pertains to the airport gateway. Would you rather have that after this first vote?
I mean, we're talking about airport gateway and
okay,
this
okay.
wrapped up in this. I mean, if you want to talk about it,
Okay.
I mean, is there a better spot
Sure.
somewhere else?
I'll ask the question now.
Go ahead.
If you were going to take two votes, just to be more proper. And so I just want clarity on what Commissioner Caban is saying. Are we bonding money for the construction of roadway on property we don't own at this time?
These projects move forward under the direction of the IA Board in the priority order that the IA Board has established. We begin working on those projects at a planning level. We do community outreach to determine amenities and factors that go into the project. We move into design, we hit the 60% design mark, and then we begin our right-of-way acquisition. These projects are implemented in many phases. With large roadway projects, they can take years to be constructed and implemented over several phases. And so in some cases, bond money will be used on projects that we do not yet have the right-of-way. Perfect example is the agenda item that you have in front of you today for the Bannerman Road project. The funds from the 2026 series bond will go towards the Bannerman Road project, and we have not secured the right-of-way for that project yet. However, we've received the direction from the IA Board to move forward with these projects.
Okay. And to date, have there been conversations about acquiring the state parcels?
Today?
To date,
As of
today,
date.
as of today.
Like as of now.
To date.
Oh, today.
Today.
No, we didn't talk
Yeah,
about that.
today.
But, oh, yeah, I mean, that Segment C, which is the Airport Gateway Segment C, which goes through property that is owned by the state and leased to Florida State University. Yeah, of course, we've continued to move forward with the design. That project has passed the 60% design mark. We've had numerous coordination meetings with Florida State University in the, the development that they are underway on in that area as well to try to coordinate our projects with the growth that's going to occur out there.
I guess what I'm asking, have we made the request of the state to acquire that property?
That's a formal application process? No, we have not.
We haven't started that yet?
Well,
Okay.
we've started the process to determine the areas that we'll need, but we have not made the application, the formal application submittal.
And when do you anticipate a formal application?
Yeah, sometime this year. It kind of depends, it does depend on our coordination with Florida State University. We have a lot of utilities that are in that area as well, so working with our utility stakeholders. So there's a lot of design work that still needs to take place and coordinated. So when we make that application later this year.
Okay. And if we're unsuccessful in acquiring that land, what's the next step?
Yeah, the state definitely holds a higher authority than we do. So we can't do an eminent domain process there. And we'll regroup and look at that project if it's denied by the state.
And then where do the funds go that we bonded for construction if we're not able to complete it?
They would go to the other segments of Airport Gateway because we're moving, that project is a whole. So the bonding includes funding for Spring Hill Road, and the next item will be eminent domain specifically for the bridge. So not approving the bond and excluding Airport Gateway actually would put the Munson Slough Bridge in jeopardy.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Matlow. All right, so we're back on the motion.
No, Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Totally sorry. My bad, guys. I got a bad eye over here. I got a retina problem.
That's okay. Give me your bad eye.
That's the left eye, too. Commissioner Williams-Cox, then Commissioner O'Keefe, then Commissioner Richardson.
I just want.
I think I was.
Okay.
I just want.
Williams-Cox, Richardson, O'Keefe.
I just wanted to remind us that we're planning for the future. We don't wait until we need the money to go seek bonding. We do the bonding ahead of time so that we don't have to stop the project to do that. So the fact that what we're doing today, and I hate that we've now begin to have an airport gateway discussion again, when we're really talking about, we've been asked to approve some bonding, opportunity to go do bonding. That's where we need to remain focused, in my opinion, and that's where I'm focused. So I think what we need to do is understand that this is necessary for the other projects to get done. I'm reminded of a time when we were here a very long time at night, and we had a bundle of projects that came as a bundle that we had to approve or disapprove, and we did that as a bundle. We didn't bifurcate, we didn't pull out, we didn't do anything. I know it's the will of the chair to accept the parliamentarian's advice or not, but I mean, what are we doing? What are we getting? The bonding still needs to be done, whether airport gateway is in it or not. The bonding still needs to be done. The focus here is the bonding, not the individual projects that it will cover. So, I'm just asking us to just return to understand that we're approving bonding. We're not approving projects. Projects already been approved. So, I'm just saying.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams-Cox. Commissioner Richardson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess the question that I have, the concern that I have is that we're negating the advice of our attorney, Mr. Chairman. And I have served on a number of different collegial bodies, and I'm just not familiar with the time where the chairman could, without the board's approval, overrule or negate or discount the what am I looking for? I'm blocking on the word. Advice of our attorney. I mean, that's her job, and I just have a concern with that, Mr. Chairman. It's been said that it's your prerogative, but I just have to express my concern about that. And is that in our bylaws, by the way?
Sorry?
Attorney? Is that in our bylaws that the chairman can not accept the advice of the attorney?
It's essentially Robert's rules.
Robert's rules. Okay, all right.
Commissioner, just for some clarity on my part, I'm just trying to offer this courtesy to Commissioner Caban. There's really no other issue here. I'm pretty sure it can be done. It is as simple as that. Now, look, if we want to just vote on it, I mean, I can ask Commissioner Maddox if he wants to maintain his motion excluding Airport Gateway as a bifurcation. He can say no. We can make another motion that does that. We can vote on that. If that motion doesn't, or we can have a substitute motion. You see what I'm saying? There's a process we can employ here to do not what Commissioner Caban is asking for. And let's just go through that process if you want to do that. I mean, we'll have to debate it around and around. I've got Commissioner O'Keefe and then I was going to ask Commissioner Cummings, if you don't mind, Commissioner Maddox. Commissioner O'Keefe, you want to go ahead real quick?
I'm brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question on the bonding. The proceeds of the bond are being given to Blueprint. In this agenda item, it lists a number of projects that is intended to fund. If we bond this money and we get it this year, and then those projects don't need that much money, are we allowed to move the remaining principal further down the line of priority to other projects, or are we locked in that this amount can only go to these listed projects?
The funding can go to any of the listed projects. There's not a set amount in the item for each project. The money can kind of be moved around as the projects need the funding.
And that's all listed Blueprint projects?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Cummings, did you want to chime in?
Yes, I want to ask the question first. The fairground revitalization is not part of this bond issuance, correct?
Is the fairgrounds a part of the bond issuance? Is that one of the projects?
Yes. If we move forward, when we move forward with the fairgrounds project, we can use this bond funding on that project.
Did you get that?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, I did. And to me, six of one, half dozen of the other. We're still working with the fairground board. We don't have anything definitive yet. And I just believe we need to respect our legal parliamentarian, our legal counsel. And it just bothers me that we can just choose to ignore direction or, parliamentarian direction at whim. I just think we need to be conscious of that and accept the advice that we are being given by our legal advisor.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. Again, I'm not trying to disrespect the parliamentarian. We can vote this through processes and avoid even asking for the question. We can vote down the motion if you don't like it or offer a substitute motion. Commissioner Maddox, you were wanting to speak again, and again, as the maker of the motion, you can either accept that amendment or not accept that amendment. You see what I'm saying? We can just work it like that.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to rescind my motion. I don't, you said something earlier, Mr. Chair, you said we can do it, but we're not supposed to do it, is what I'm hearing the county attorney say. But as Chair, you had the prerogative to do it either way. And so it's an invalid motion. Because of an invalid motion, the Chair can ignore the advice. This still makes an invalid motion. So I don't want to make an invalid motion. So if someone else wants to make the motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve all the bond funding except the Airport Gateway project.
Okay. Anybody want to second that?
Second.
All right, you got a second from Commissioner Matlow. We are on a staff recommendation.
Can we just call the vote?
A minute, okay. Well, somebody might want to make a substitute motion, you know what I'm saying? Because if we do it like that, then Airport Gateway's done.
Okay.
Or at least not including the bond, and that's probably not going to fly. Commissioner Williams-Cox, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I know you still got that bad eye.
I'm telling you.
I would like to make a substitute motion that we accept staff our recommendation to vote for option 1.
Second.
All right, we have a substitute motion and a second from Commissioner Richardson.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So our parliamentarian, our attorney is basically saying that we can't vote no on this bond financing. Essentially is what she's saying.
Well, I think you can vote no on it, Commissioner Caban. The board is saying they don't want to bifurcate it.
I'm having a hard time understanding.
Mr. Chair, that's not correct. The board's not saying that they did not want to bifurcate. The attorney has told us that bifurcating is an invalid motion.
Okay.
Now, the only way it can be made valid is if you ignore the advice of the attorney. I wasn't willing to make an invalid motion because I don't think we should, just because we can't.
Well, Commissioners, I'm not trying to be a pillar of authority here, okay? We're a collegial board, and this is the direction of the collegial board. Commissioner Caban, your motion that I seconded has now received a substitute motion.
That's fine. I just have a question for the attorney. How is it an improper motion? We bifurcate items all the time.
Mr. Chair, I hate to do this, but.
Are you talking about your motion whereby you would carve out the airport gateway from funding under the bond resolution?
Correct. Because my question is, what if one of us had a conflict on the airport gateway? We would have to bifurcate the airport gateway project and vote on it separately. We do that all the time.
But at the county, we are Robert's rules like. We're not.
I understand, but I just want to ask where that is an issue, because our attorney's saying that it's an improper motion. I just would like to know where. And if it's proper, I have no problem adhering to your guidance. I'm having a hard time understanding where it's an issue.
Okay, I'll certainly share how it's an issue. If you look at your agenda materials on page 39, this is a resolution 2025-02, that's page 39, that this board adopted back in September following the final public hearing on your budget. And as part of your budget, this is front and back page here, your resolution. Following the approval of that resolution, which obviously you got to by having a motion, a second, and a favorable vote on it, you establish the budget for the agency for fiscal year 2026.
Yeah.
Part of the funding for that, as part of that approval, was funding of the projects that are listed on the backside of that page, page 40, by bonds, which is up to $90 million in bonds. That's this particular agenda item. So this agenda item would allow us to move forward with what you said you wanted the agency to do in terms of supporting and funding these projects. So the issue here with your motion is that you would basically, if you carve out Airport Gateway, if you propose a motion to carve out Airport Gateway, you are basically amending the motion that you previously approved and adopted back in 2025, following 2 public hearings on the budget, following a favorable vote on the budget that's listed on page 40 that this board approved, ultimately with the resolution signed by the chair and others.
But we're not changing the budget.
That is the basis for why the motion would be improper. So the proper way to do that would be an agenda item to do some sort of budget amendment. I'm not saying you cannot do that. That's incorrect. But you have here the confluence of Robert's rules and your budget policy. So,
But you haven't pointed to Robert's rules to where it's an improper motion. We're not changing the budget. That's not what we're talking about. No one's here saying we change the budget. We're issuing bonds. I'm saying I want to vote no on the bonds for that project.
well, you can certainly do so. So you have a motion on the floor right now, a substitute motion to accept staff recommendation. You can vote no on accepting staff recommendation.
I'm going to, but you're not giving us, you're saying it was an improper motion, and you just told the chair based on Robert's rules, and you haven't pointed to where it's an improper motion.
It's an improper motion because, as stated, it has the effect of amending something that you had
But we're not
done
amending
previously.
anything. We're not
If that
amending
vote-
anything.
it-
You're wrong. We're not
Are
amending
you
anything.
going to talk over me, or are you going to let me answer
Well,
your
you're
question?
wrong. I mean, you're giving
I'd
bad
like to
advice.
ask you a
Commissioners,
question.
come on, let's get back
Mr. Chair,
in
I
order.
just want to say to the county administrator, I think that this is ridiculous. I mean, she works at the pleasure of you, Mr. County Administrator, and I think this is ridiculous. And I will table this conversation, but I fully intend to bring this up in our commission meeting because she has not pointed to where this is against Robert's rules. We're not undoing a budget item. I'm voting no on bonds because the guidance that we're having is to vote on bonds on a project that requires a cabinet vote, which we haven't even started the application process. So I'm just going to vote no. I want this to be very uncontroversial. I think this is terrible guidance, and I'm going to move forward, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Caban. We've got Commissioner O'Keefe, you still,
Yes, I have one quick question.
all right, let's kind of, we'll vote after this.
Thank you. I just want to confirm my understanding. The reason for the question is to understand what's proper. If there were a motion to not accept any bond issuance and say we're not doing bond issuance, would that also be improper because it in effect cancels budget action before? Or would that theoretically be a proper motion?
You mean if it was voted down entirely?
Correct.
It would have an impact on what you have previously approved, because we would not be able to move forward with funding with the approved budget that you set for the agency.
Okay. And Madam Attorney, I asked to be very clear because I am a little confused and I want to make sure I know exactly what we're doing before we vote. Am I understanding correctly then, putting together the answers from this meeting, the only proper vote that is eligible for us is to approve this bond as recommended?
Unless you want to do some sort of budget amendment to the budget you've already approved. And the proper way to do that would be to say, staff, bring back an agenda item that would amend the budget that we approved in September of 2025 and then deal with the bond issuance at that time. That would be the proper way to do it, because you have already approved a budget that includes up to $90 million in bond financing to continue the projects that Blueprint is either starting or in the middle of constructing.
Okay. And, okay. Then I'll just explain, I'm going to vote against this motion because the process doesn't make sense. It sounds like we're being told we can only approve. So I want to see what happens. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner O'Keefe. All right, seeing no other discussion, we have a
Mr. Chair, I do want, as a maker of the motion, because
Go ahead.
this is confusing folks. We already knew that we could either vote for it or vote against it. We approved the budget. This is to get the bonding to cover the budget, to get the funding to cover the budget. And if we decide not to approve this, then we don't have bond financing for the money to fuel the budget. Is that correct? So what we're doing here is trying to put money in place to cover the budget that we already previously approved. Is that my understanding? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams-Cox. Again, I'll state, I'm sorry, Commissioner Cummings, did you want to say anything?
No, just reiterate, I understand the direction from our council. I understand her differentiating between what we've previously done, and if we go forward now, bifurcating it, how we will be basically undoing council, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Cummings. I just want to state for the record again, I agree with Commissioner O'Keefe and Commissioner Caban. I think this is utterly confounding. It does not make sense to me why we cannot bifurcate one project, vote on them, and then come back and vote on that project separately. I don't think that violates any budget processes or anything, and so I think it does create the illusion, and I don't think it's intentional, that this is you have to vote for this or it's an invalid motion. I don't think that's the case. I think that's ridiculous, frankly. Secondly, I will state again, I am not a pillar of power here, okay? We are a board. We make decisions collectively, and the process and posture that we are in now is the will of the board, okay? It's not the will of me, as much as I think that this can't bifurcate thing is not accurate. We are going through our collegial process, okay? So we have a substitute motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox and a second from Commissioner Richardson. All those in favor of staff recommendations signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Aye.
We'll do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Matlow,
Nay.
Commissioner Porter, Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Aye.
Commissioner Caban. Commissioner Cummings,
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox,
Yes.
Commissioner Minor,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Keefe,
Nay.
and Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
It does pass.
The motion passes. Are you good?
Mr. Chair, can I have?
Well, Commissioner Minor had his thing up, and we're kind of done with that item. Do you want to
Thank you,
bookend
Mr.
it?
Chairman. Just really quickly, if this motion had failed, we've been working on these blueprint projects for years.
Yes.
Our staff has been working on the timelines and the rollout for design and construction on these projects for years.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Point of order, Mr. Chair. You have to have a motion on the floor.
Well, I'm giving him the opportunity to speak, but
Point of
can we
order,
stop
Robert's rules.
contextualize? and
Yes,
just
yes.
kinda-
I'm just, if there was one single thing to completely uproot what Blueprint is doing, it would have been for this motion to fail.
Yeah, again, Commissioner Minor, I
thank
think
you,
it's
Mr. Chairman.
unfortunate that we
Appreciate
had to have that
Okay.
conversation. Did you want to add something? If we can avoid any more controversy on this item and back and forth, that'd be great, Commissioners.
Well, Mr. Chairman, what I'm going to say is I think that our attorney deserves an apology. To say that the advice that she gave this board as our parliamentarian and attorney is ridiculous, that she's wrong, I just don't think that was appropriate. And I think that she needs to be given an apology for how her advice was referred to. Now, you know, I'll leave it that way, but I personally.
Mr. Chair, may I respond?
I'd rather we not, Commissioner Command. If we can
That's
move
fine.
on, that'd be great.
You know,
All right, commissioners, listen, if for what it's worth, Madam Attorney, I apologize if you took my statements as saying that your opinion was ridiculous. That's probably the wrong choice of words in that moment. I just disagree with the logic that was being implied. I'm not an attorney, obviously, and I'll admit that. And again, I recognize your point is well taken. It was merely an attempt to provide a courtesy to a fellow director that I don't see as controversial or complicated. I think it has been made more complicated and controversial than it needs to be, but that's okay. We're going to move on. All right, Mr. White, next item, please.
Thank you, Chairman, Directors. The next 3 items seek your approval of eminent domain resolutions for the acquisition of property needed to implement projects and maintain project schedules. In each case, in each project, we have made offers, but we'll continue to negotiate with the property owners or their legal representation, kind of working towards a settlement. But this will just kind of help us keep momentum in case we're unable to do that. Autumn will go through these project by project, beginning with this item, which is the airport gateway parcels.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. The parcels we're seeking approval on today are for the Airport Gateway project, but specifically for the Spring Hill Road corridor. These 2 parcels are near the Munson Slough Bridge, kind of across the road from the Lake Henrietta entrance. They're necessary for the Munson Slough Bridge replacement project, which is being implemented in partnership with the Florida Department of Transportation. One parcel will be used for a stormwater management facility, and the other will be used for stormwater conveyance and the ultimate roadway expansion along that stretch of Spring Hill Road. So today we're asking for your approval of the 2 resolutions to move forward with the acquisitions of these 2 parcels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. White, I think we have a speaker on this item.
Louis Brown. Louis Brown.
Mr. Brown?
Good afternoon.
Name and address for the record, please, and you have 3 minutes.
Louis Brown, address 101 Chapel Drive, Tallahassee, Florida. Concerning the Airport Gateway project, can you explain the purpose of the Airport Gateway project and why it is important for the Tallahassee community?
Is it in our policy to respond to questions from speakers? I don't think so, is it?
No, it should be
Kind of,
comment.
yeah, it's really just comment, not really back and forth, Mr. Brown.
I see, I understand.
So please carry on. Or please tell us if you have concerns and such.
I don't believe I have any concerns towards it. No, I think I will let you all proceed forward with the importance of the topic.
Yeah, sorry.
All good.
Yeah, our staff is happy to meet with you and answer questions for you if you want. Like, I'm sure they can schedule a time with you if you contact their office, or any of the commissioners here would be glad to meet with you as well. You know, just reach out to us and let us know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you. All right, commissioners. Commissioner Cummings, are you? I'm gonna go to you first. If you got any, well, I guess we need a motion. Do you want to start us off, Commissioner Cummings, or?
I'm here, Mr. Chair. I don't have anything, but thank you for allowing me to appear by phone. I'm having some dental issues, so I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. We've got Commissioner Williams-Cox has the floor.
Thank you. I was rising to make the motion to accept option number 1.
All right, we've got a motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox, second from the Vice Chair. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. These parcels are along the original airport gateway along Spring Hill Road?
That's correct.
Okay. And can you tell us about the communications with the property owner to date?
This morning.
Okay.
Right, yeah, they're on Spring Hill Road, very close to the bridge, the Munson Slough Bridge, about halfway down Spring Hill Road. They're on the west side of the road. We reached out to the property owner, maybe about a year and a half ago, and started to have conversations with them. But then they chose, which is of course their right, to bring on counsel. And so we have made the offer to their counsel and have not received any type of communication back. We've reached out several times to try to get a counteroffer to keep the negotiations moving forward, but their counsel has been non-responsive.
Okay. And what are the properties being used for at this time? Or are they being used?
Well, at this time, the parcel areas are vacant.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, seeing no further discussion, we have a motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox, a second from Commissioner Richardson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Caban is a no, so, oh, I'm sorry. So sorry. Just 2 noes? Okay, so Commissioner Porter and Commissioner Caban in dissent, so whatever our numbers are. Got it, staff? Thank you, guys. All right, next item, please.
I'll hand it over to Autumn for a presentation on the eminent domain for Magnolia Drive Trail.
Okay. Magnolia Trail. So these are the last 3 parcels that are needed in order to complete the Magnolia Trail project. This will begin the implementation, and once these are completed, we'll begin the construction. The last phase goes from essentially Circle Drive north to Appalachie Parkway. These parcels are frontage parcels. We did a quick calculation this afternoon. The depth of these parcels really doesn't exceed 15 feet for a temporary construction easement. And the same thing, reached out to the property owners along here. We actually were able to obtain, after publication, an agreement on one of the parcels, the more northern parcel. We have not closed on it, so we do recommend moving forward to the resolution for that northern parcel. But the southern parcel, we have not reached an agreement on. So we're recommending option 1.
Thank you.
And one thing, if I could, Chair, one of the resolutions had a typo in it, and so there's a printed copy with the typo corrected in front of everyone.
Thanks, Artie. And the agenda materials were correct. We just had a typo in the resolution.
Commissioner Williams-Cox, you recognize.
I move for option 1 to be accepted.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Minor. Any discussion? Commissioner Matlow O'Keefe, you're kind of simultaneous there. Defer to Commissioner O'Keefe.
Thank you, Commissioner Matlow. Just to confirm our understanding from our briefing, the parcels in this are apartment complexes, and the portions that were eminent domaining are not going to relocate anybody from their residences or where they live.
That is correct.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you. That was one of my questions as well. And what were the conversations with the apartment complex owners?
Yeah, so they're actually both apartment complexes. The more northern one, it's actually just south of the Take 5 oil, that's actually connected to the apartment complex that fronts on Lafayette. And that's the one that we got the agreement on. That's just a temporary construction easement, a very small area. The southern one is owned by a national multifamily company, and we've reached out to them several times, and they actually just have not responded.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else? Commissioner Cummings, any comments?
No comments, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox, second from Commissioner Minor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I think that one's unanimous. All right, next item, please.
Like the other ones, Autumn has a very brief presentation. This would be for the Bannerman Road project.
Go ahead.
All right. So we're seeking IA board authorization for eminent domain proceedings to acquire 11 parcels from 8 property owners to construct the Bannerman Road improvements. These 11 parcels are in the Preservation Road, Bannerman Road intersection area, and the acquisition of these parcels is necessary to keep the project on schedule for beginning construction in 2027. And so today we're recommending approval of the resolutions to acquire the 11 parcels.
Thank you.
Move option 1.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Minor.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Williams-Cox. Is there any discussion? Commissioner O'Keefe.
Thank you. Real quick, can you describe the nature of most of these properties? Are they residences, commercial, and is anyone's housing being affected?
Right. No, these are also frontage parcels. On the whole, the area is only ranges from like 8 feet into the parcel to 17 feet into the parcel. They're all residential along that corridor, and it does not require the relocation of anybody or the impact to their actual residents.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Cummings, got any discussion?
No discussion, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to thank staff. They made it emphatically clear. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Minor, second from Commissioner Williams-Cox. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Wow.
All right. I think that one passes unanimously as well.
Commissioner,
No, nay
sorry.
for me.
Nay for Commissioner Porter. Okay, perfect. Passes, I think.
it does.
Okay. Does that conclude general business, Mr. White?
That does conclude the general business portion of your agenda.
All right, thank you, commissioners. We are now on director discussion items. Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the point where we can discuss what Mr. Kurtzy provided information on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wanted to just weigh in with full support of this. Living on the south side, when Walgreens left and CVS left, it did become a pharmacy desert. But what I'm happy to report is that with neighborhood service, I've been waiting for you. Because I see the executive director, Ms. Janae Freeman. They told me it was coming, so I've been waiting. With this service, we will now have 3 pharmacies that are homegrown, not national brands. And when those pharmacies left, I told folks, just let them go on. Let them, they made a business decision. We have everything we need in our community to make this happen. So I'm glad to support neighborhood services coming on and joining Bond. And I always want to call them being Cares, but it's CarePoint in providing pharmacy services on the south side and to anyone who wants it, but especially for the area that has been designated as a pharmacy desert. So I just want to come on and say that I support this. They're not new to our community. They're true to our community, and we need to support this healthcare, just as you know, someone mentioned about what happened yesterday, the historic event that happened yesterday. We definitely need places where we can get our medication so we can stay out of the hospital, and we can go get other services so we can stay out of the hospital. So I wholeheartedly support this. Dr. Kirksey is a retired pharmacy professor from Florida A&M, and he tried to teach me how to eat healthy, to manage my diabetes, and we didn't stay together real long because, you know, habits are hard to break. But he was so kind and gentle with me. He hasn't asked me how I'm doing, so because he knows how I'm doing, not good. So I just wanted to lend my support to all of the Dr. Freeman and their staff. They're phenomenal people. If you don't know where neighborhood services are, we did a ribbon cutting for the food locker just a few months ago. So they're providing full service in our community, and pharmacy is a welcome addition. And I knew when they took over the bank and didn't close off the drive-through, she told me that was because they were going to have drive-through services. So that's great because grandmama can't always get out and walk in. She can drive through and get her medicine. So I fully support this.
Mr. Chairman, on point.
Sure, go ahead, Mr. Commissioner.
If Commissioner Williams-Cox would like to make a motion to have an agenda item come back to the Blueprint Board, I would second that motion.
She would.
Second.
All right, awesome. We've got a motion and a second from Commissioner Williams-Cox and Commissioner Minor for the non-competitive grant funding for Neighborhood Medical Center. Commissioner Richardson, Mr. Vice Chair.
Mr. Chairman. Again, I want to ditto what Commissioner Williams-Cox has had to say about the south side of Tallahassee being a pharmacy desert. As you all probably have heard me say a number of times, I've lived on the south side of Tallahassee for just about 35 years now. And I was there when we had CVS and Walgreens that, of course, eventually left and created the pharmacy desert. And now, you know, my wife and I have to drive from where we live just off of Orange Avenue to the pharmacy at the CVS on Appalachia Parkway to get our prescription drug medication. And, you know, there are neighbors of mine that don't have that kind of transportation to be able to make it to CVS. And so this will be tremendous for those individuals on the south side of town, particularly African Americans who seem to suffer more from the health disparities, high blood pressure, and all the others that we hear about so frequently, sickle cell and others. And so this will be a convenience for them. And as Commissioner Williams-Cox said, it will be in addition to the pharmacy that Bond just opened. And I look forward to transferring my business and my wife's business from the CVS to either Bond or Neighborhood. So I would support the motion to bring back an item that gives consideration to this $375,000 appropriation that Neighborhood is requesting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Commissioner O'Keefe. I'm sorry, Commissioner Porter, were you before?
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Porter, we insist.
Sure, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I fully support this project as well and look forward to it coming back to us. I have a question for Dr. Kurtze, if that's allowed, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I'm sure some of this will be covered in the item that comes back to us. When we last spoke, I believe my understanding was that a lot of the work for this project has already begun and is complete, and we're moving now into a separate phase. For the budget here, the match, the 30% financial match, and a total project investment of $487,500, is that the total project cost, including the investments that have already been made, or just for this second phase?
That's total, the total cost.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner O'Keefe?
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Cummings, would you like to go ahead?
I can, if I may. Mr. Chair, I'd be remiss if I didn't just voice my support for this item coming back. I certainly support Dr. Kurtze. I just really admire the vision of Neighborhood Medical Center, their director, Janae Freeman, and those individuals who have for years served primarily individuals who are non-insured or underinsured and just those in our marginalized community. So I see this service as filling a gap, a needed gap in that particular area. So I just wanted to go on record as being in support of the motion, being in support of the agenda item coming back, and hopefully voting favorably for their financial request, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings, and thank you, Commissioner O'Keefe, for your chivalry. You now have the floor.
Thank you very much. You know, that is my reputation. Just want to confirm this, because I wholeheartedly support this, and I want to make sure my comments are accurate. This non-competitive funding, this is about economic incentive. We're not going into like charity or community support. This is because this is a business expanding, right?
You want to?
Mr. Bowers?
Yes, sir, you are absolutely correct. It is based on capital investment, number of jobs created, the types of jobs, and this is one of our targeted industries, healthcare. So yes, it's basically economic impact that we'll be looking for in this project.
Thank you so much. This I'm excited about. Dr. Kurtze, thank you. When I first joined this board and I had my first briefing with Autumn and with Keith, I started asking about what our target industries were, because this is an example of what I call community-first economic development. If we look at TMH's recent Community Health Needs Assessment Report that they just put out, which is an incredible comprehensive report, and I got to sit in and participate with stakeholders there, it indicates that beyond, and I don't want to undersell, but I want to focus on the economic part, beyond indigent care, beyond folks who don't have insurance, to average, and those people are normal and average too, but people with insurance, people you don't think about, people who have jobs and insurance and great government insurance, also do not have access to all the care they need by way of not having enough doctors, specialists, or pharmacists. And so what I've always wanted to focus on is not just encouraging businesses that bring warehouses, but that's a business side. That's not indigent care. I mean, it is indigent care in your business, but that's not the requirement here. That's not charity. That is business. And we have a gap in our economy that is medical businesses. And so I'm so excited to see one of the first in a little while getting an economic incentive for medical and pharmacy businesses, and any medical pharmacy business that is in the sound of my voice, I want you to better come knock down OEV's door and get some more of these healthcare economic incentives out. Thank you, Dr. Kirksey. You're raising your hand. Do you want something?
I actually just want to respond to your comment because you are correct. There are many patients who have insurance and uninsured. So through the 340B pricing of drugs, the cost savings generated from that will be able to offset some of the high copays for those patients who would normally be paying a lot of money out of pocket. So you're certainly on point with that.
Thank you, Mr. Kirksey. Commissioner Maddox, you want to chime in real quick?
I don't think we can let this moment pass, too. Again, I'm going to overwhelmingly support the proposal that comes forward, but I wanted to recognize the fact that, as Commissioner Williams-Cox said, these are federally qualified healthcare centers that are doing this within the neighborhoods that need it most. We have a lot of conversations about, TMH and HCA and other healthcare facilities, but we always forget about the fact that our FQHCs are sitting right in the middle of our neighborhoods, serving the people who need it the most. One of the biggest questions about the TMH thing was, well, is TMH going to serve the underserved within our communities? Well, thank God for neighborhood, thank God for bond. Not only are they serving those folks, but they are also creating markets that are leaving the areas that our people desperately need. No pharmacy there at all. 3 of them popped up, 2 of them FQHCs. I'm thankful for them. Thank you so much for your innovation, for your forethought to do this, because if you hadn't done it, I'm not sure anybody else would. No other pharmacies are coming south. None. But our FQHCs are there to save the day, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Maddox. All right, seeing no further discussion on Commissioner Williams-Cox's motion about the non-competitive grant for the Neighborhood Medical Center. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes unanimously.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. That item will come back to us, staff, in June, I would assume. I mean, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. All right.
May I ask a
sure.
quick question? Coming back in June, that this doesn't create some type of barrier for them to move forward or anything like that? Is there a need for something more immediate?
You would have to ask Dr. Kirksey.
Very helpful.
Okay.
All right, Commissioner Williams-Cox, obviously I want to see an analysis before I would vote on something, but, I have an item that I'm going to talk about in discussion time that might require I can call a special meeting if we need to. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
So, I mean,
I'm
if,
picking up what you put down.
Yeah.
What's the motion on the floor?
Right now it's on an analysis on Neighborhood Medical Center's non-competitive grant request, which would have to come back to us as an item that we would actually approve or disapprove in terms of funding, which our next meeting's not till June. You want to say anything?
No.
Okay.
We just want to clarify the motion.
All right. So, Commissioner Williams-Cox, we can, you can, I think, request of the chair. I mean, I'm up in June, right? Or is this my last? No, it's June. Yeah, okay, but until June, I have the right to call a special meeting, right? Perfect. So if you request that of me, if we need to deploy that or have that vote sooner, you know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, so I think we voted, right? Okay, so we're unanimous. So
You actually voted.
I can't even remember. You still have the floor, Commissioner Williams-Cox, if you want it.
That was it.
All right, any other director discussion items?
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Listen, I respect everybody here, and everyone here is duly elected and able to make their own decisions, and I respect that. But I think sometimes we need to think about implications of what we do. Like with the first agenda item, that almost failed. The bond issuance almost failed. And listen, that's the duty of this board to make a decision on whether to proceed with bond issuances. But had that not passed, the implications of that would have been severe. We've been planning these projects for years with project schedules, and we're spending millions of dollars on design and beginning to construction. And to not have that bond issuance pass would have meant a lot of those projects to be suspended or delayed, in which case those due dates are pushed out, which would, because of inflation and increasing construction costs, increase the cost of those projects. So we probably would have had to, many of those projects wouldn't have been done anywhere near the time we have them scheduled for now. And we might have to use so much money in our blueprint revenue projections that we might have to cut projects or reduce scope. So I just, I'm not here to nitpick with anybody or throw knives at anybody at all. I think sometimes we don't think about the implications of some of the things that we do. And I'm glad the vote passed. I think we and our staff have been working incredibly hard on some outstanding projects in Blueprint. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with every project, but collectively we've made a decision to move forward on these projects. And this bond issuance is going to help fund those projects with the timelines that we have. So I'm not here, again, to cast aspersions. I just wanted to point that out because sometimes I think we get so immersed in the details that we lose sight of the big picture. And that's just my opinion. But again, that's just my perspective. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner, who was first? Matlow. Perfect. Okay.
I don't know the order, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Matlow.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We're in discussion time.
In discussion time,
Yeah.
yes, sir. And respectfully, Commissioner Minor, I disagree. The primary motion on the floor at the time was to bond all of the projects except the airport gateway. I believe there was majority support for that. I believe there was majority support, even if we bifurcated it, just to give Commissioner Caban the option to oppose the airport gateway, which I didn't necessarily intend to support at the time, but I thought that was a collegial thing to do. My comments are just this, Mr. Chair, I think you've done a great job trying to rein this meeting in, but these are the processes. We call for the votes, we take the votes, and the votes fall where they may. I think that's what we need to really respect rather than directing personal attacks at different members based on what they're bringing. That's why we have majority votes. And to Mr. Chair's point, he does have the authority to make the ruling, and if there's an objection to that authority, Madam Attorney, any member can move to challenge the ruling of the chair if we want to take it in a different direction. Is that correct?
Yes, the motion to appeal.
Okay. So at the end of the day, this board always has the authority to move an issue forward. It's not, there's no super authority for the chair to direct if we do have challenging, but I think falling into individual attacks and fighting amongst each other isn't really helpful. I believe we should just continue to call for the votes and let them fall where they may. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Caban.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I agree with Commissioner Matlow, and I say that by disagreeing with Commissioner Minor. I think when we're voting on $90 million worth of bonds, I think the details are very, very important. I think we owe it to taxpayers to pay attention to the details. And I don't hold it personal to any single person in this room who wants to vote against an item. Commissioner Williams-Cox substituted my motion. I'm not mad about her. It's business, right? And my frustration that I particularly have was I was trying very hard to just make this an easy vote. I want to vote no on one item. In the county commission chambers, we work together, we're collegial, we do those things all the time. There's something toxic about this room. And it's not just today, it's all the time where there's a lack of collegiality. And it is very, very frustrating because the 7 of us in the county commission, we get along well. We don't have these problems. And in my briefing earlier this week, I was told that this wouldn't be a problem, that this separating and bifurcating this issue would not be a problem. And in fact, I was told that we could have future agenda items laid out this way. And so when I'm having a discussion like this and trying to be collegial and not break up old arguments in the past, it's frustrating that I'm being told we can't do something that basically we're forced to approve $90 million worth of bonds. Like, to me, it's like, what are we here for? That is entirely frustrating. And then when I ask to point to the Roberts rules, which was just stated, of where it was improper, there's nothing to point to. So, commissioners, I look forward to seeing my colleagues in the county commission chambers in April. In our chambers, we have a level of collegiality that we all respect each other and work together. And Commissioner Minor, I hope we maintain that in our next meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Who's next in commissioner discussion? O'Keefe, you weren't in the line, right? Or were you?
I just want to say I love you all equally.
Okay. So I have an item in commissioner discussion, if that's okay. I'll close this out. And I will, since we're sort of subjectively applying our opinions here, I appreciate the frustration that we feel with each other at times, okay? And I don't think it's personal, and I don't take it that way. And I'll be the first person to apologize to the to the board attorney if Commissioner Richardson especially suggests I do so, because I have tremendous respect for all of you. And it is, while I can share the frustrations that have been expressed about that particular interpretation, it doesn't minimize my respect for the attorney or her opinion. And so my emphasis, and this will always be my emphasis when I have the privilege of being the chair of our collegial board, whether it's at the county or over here, I will repeat that I know that I serve at your pleasure, okay? And so I am not trying to be an authoritarian. I want us to go through those processes, right? And that's what we were able to finally get to. And I knew that whole time that you could overrule my judgment or my decision not to agree to that interpretation, but I felt the better outlet was to just, look, we'll make a motion. If there's a substitute motion, and we'll go through it and we'll have a vote. And I agree with Commissioner Minor that sometimes we can get heated and accidents might almost happen. And I understand that, but I also agree with Commissioner Command that all that could have been avoided by simply bifurcating it, which I think was possible. But look, that's okay. That's water under the bridge now. We've moved on. I do think, though, it would provide an opportunity for staff collectively at Blueprint to perhaps reassess how we deal with an issue like that, right? Let's sort of do a post-mortem on that. I would suggest that friendly, kindly, respectfully, and for future meetings, right? How can we make sure that in a briefing we communicate that something can or cannot happen, and then, make sure that avoid confusion in the future. So anything we can do on the staff level, y'all can do on the staff level to avoid those kinds of misunderstandings or whatever we want to call it, that would be good. And then commissioners as well, let's please recognize that we are here in service to a broader issue and a community of people who've sent us here. And I've been as emotional as anyone around this table, and we all know that. Frustrated out of my mind around this table, and we all know that. And I know it's hard sometimes to stay composed, but I think if we just maybe change our perspective a little bit and look at the bigger picture, we might be able to do that. So I appreciate all of you and all your comments, and thank you. So my item, okay, back to business, on that I would like to ask for, and I know that the city, I'm very grateful for the city's expediting of the Market District Road construction issue because of its impact on those businesses over there. So what I wanted to ask of staff and of the board is I would like to see if there's the possibility, there are 51 retail or restaurant establishments in the Market District who we know have had significant disruptions to their bottom line. Is there any thirst among the board members to look at propping up a grant program to allow those businesses to apply for a grant, let's say up to like $10,000, If they can prove, please, Mr. Sims, don't speak out from their audience. Oh my gosh. Like we did for the tornado situation previously, Mr. Sims, please. So if those businesses can show that they've experienced year-over-year losses as it relates to the closures of that road, just want to see if there's any desire amongst the board to do something like that. Commissioner Caban.
Mr. Chair, if you make a motion, I will gladly second the motion. I think that is a great idea. I think that Market Street District, by the way, I think the construction is going to look great. I know the City of Tallahassee has been working their tails off around the clock, especially to get that project moving quickly. But I believe that district is like a heart of the north side of town. There are so many, and majority of those are local businesses. And I think it's vital. I myself went to dinner a couple weeks ago at Sage at night, and in my head I'm like, golly, how are they surviving right now? Because it was dark. They had to take 2 detours. Even in my truck, it was hard to get in the parking lot. I think that is a great idea, and I would support it.
Thank you, Commissioner Kane. Can I make a motion?
Mr. Chair? If I may.
Well, before any of that, can I make a motion on a discussion item like that, or no?
Mr. Chair?
Okay. Hold on 1 second, Commissioner Cummings. Let's hear from Mr. Bowers about the sort of reality of an idea like that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So basically, right now, what your policies have directed OEV to make allocations and investments in would be those 4 targeted industries: healthcare, transportation, logistics, professional services, and applied sciences. So a blanket grant program would require a policy direction outside of the current policies that you have directed us to.
So it wouldn't be, I know you said in my briefing there was a couple $1 million in the non-competitive grant thing, but that wouldn't apply. So do we have any future opportunity leveraging fund or anything like that, or any kind of fund that could facilitate something like that?
All of the funds are allocated for those targeted industries. So that's why we don't provide any economic incentives for retail, accommodations, entertainment is specifically driven for those 4 targeted industries.
So what about this, Mr. Bowers? There's a fund available for helping those businesses that are disrupted, right? For advertising or signage and things like that, right? There is a pool of money available to mitigate disruptions from construction of projects, right?
Well, we work with the city to provide some funding for marketing, and that was, but it was not within the program of the allocated funds. So it was not tied to any specific CIP programming.
Right.
This was just done in conjunction with the city. The city provided the improvements on the signage, and to date, I think OEV has spent about $16,000 with a marketing company to help increase the visibility and spread the information that those businesses that may have been impacted are still open and accessible.
Okay, so there is no money for the type of mechanism that I'm talking about?
Not in the current policies that you've
You'd have to create a new policy, which would maybe be a bit of a slippery slope, maybe. Okay, I see Commissioner O'Keefe and Commissioner Matlow, if you want to, look, I'm open to your ideas on this. This is just an idea. I think it's a good idea in situations where you have an economic ecosystem like you have at the Market District with a lot of retail and a lot of restaurants. And I don't know off the top of my head other blueprint projects in areas like that that would be similarly disrupted that you could potentially be creating a precedent with. So I'm open to any suggestions that you all have. If you don't like that idea, that's fine. I just feel bad. I met with those business owners out there and asked them to come and talk to you guys because I recognize it was a city project. And I do appreciate the city, acting quickly to move that reprioritize that a little bit and move it so that it's open sooner rather than later. But I just know that, and I hear from those businesses that, they've lost 15, 20% revenue year over year. And I think they can prove that with their numbers. And, if there's something we can do to mitigate that, maybe help them hire some people back. I mean, I think there's significant implications to those disruptions. So yeah, anyway, Commissioner O'Keefe, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I like the concept, and given it's a policy thing, I think this is an excellent idea. Unfortunately, what I'm about to say doesn't necessarily help fast enough the Market District, but I think this is an important concept for us to consider as a long-term policy. In fact, I was at Hopkins up there, which it's good, but it's not quite as good as the District 5 Hopkins. And someone ran out of Nick's and said, Commissioner O'Keefe, what are you going to do about this? I go, oh, sorry, it's not my district. You got to call Brian Welch. But this is a regular issue, right? We had, without relitigating a project, we had a blueprint collaborative project looking for Midtown. And a big part of the concern of local businesses that kind of put the halt on that was the long term of construction and the impact to their business. That's also something we heard from businesses years ago when the work behind, on Lafayette Street behind the Appalachian Parkway Shopping Center, they ended up going out of business. Because it's already tough for local businesses, especially local restaurants, which kind of, I think, center around those areas, are ready to stay in business. Notwithstanding Gain Street Pies, clearly they know the secret. But I think we ought to consider a long-term policy, maybe an agenda item that considers putting in our policies or our projects an impact fund that does help local businesses impacted by our projects. Again, I think it's an important policy discussion that, unfortunately, I don't want to rush and do it. Sure. But I think it's an important thing to consider, and I think it would reduce opposition to the project we're trying to put through. And so that's my thought on it, but I'll leave it for others.
Yeah, Commissioner O'Keefe, I think that's a good idea. And if we can't get anything quick enough for Market District, I think if you look ahead at Bannerman Road, you look ahead at Airport Gateway, you look ahead at Tharp Street projects or Orange Avenue projects or any other projects that we got going on that could interrupt retail and restaurant sectors that really depend on foot traffic, I think that's not a bad idea. So maybe, and I don't want to make the motion as the chair, but if somebody wants to ask staff to bring back an analysis on potential ways that we could prop up an impact program like that as we sort of move into the construction phase of these projects. I realize that thanks to the city, we're going to get that done a little sooner than later. It'd be done hopefully, June, summertime-ish, which would be great. But I do think—
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, hold on one second, Commissioner Cummings. I think that's a good idea. Commissioner Matlow, are you fine? Let Commissioner Cummings go. Go ahead, Commissioner Cummings.
Well, no, I can hold on, Mr. Chair. I just didn't want you to forget me.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We want you to go first. We insist.
Okay. No, Mr. Bowers answered some of my questions about our targeted areas. So he emphasized, that we do have certain targeted areas where perhaps this doesn't fit in it. But my question is whether or not we would have to expand our targeted area. First, is it like putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, before we ask OED to bring an agenda item back, or do we have them address targeted areas for some policy direction that would include the situation that's occurring out there with those businesses and construction by the city, Mr. Chair? And I'm not sure who would answer, who could address that question.
Do you mind, did you understand that question? I think the question generally is if we wanted to move in a policy direction like that, could you peel off $500,000 out of one of those funds and create a program like an impact fund, or would you just expand the areas that we're focused on to say restaurant, retail? I don't know if you'd want 50 different non-competitive grant requests, you know what I'm saying? But is there a way in policy, Mr. Bowers, that you could make that work?
Well, what our department is currently involved in is we are revisiting the targeted industries. We have contracted with a consultant that is doing an analysis because our last targeted industry study was done in 2017. So we are having that updated. They are 50% complete with that process. So we should have something here within the next, I would say, 60 to 90 days and as directed by the board, we are bringing that back for your consideration and adoption for the targeted industry policies. But it is a pretty analytical assessment and analysis. And one of the things that we focused on and the direction that we've received is that these policies and the programs that we provide for incentives, the job creation is central. And one of the things that we look at now is when we compare the jobs, when companies are coming in and saying that they're going to create X number of jobs, is really based on a percentage above the median income. And that is a benchmark, because we don't want to just create any types of jobs. We want to create those jobs that have a long-term return on the investment and that pay above the average wages that are currently being earned.
Well, Mr. Bowers, what about job preservation? Like
it's the same thing, retention, preservation, or creation.
Right, but like in this case, we're talking about restaurant workers who had to lay off 10 people because they lost enough business. I just don't know how you make it fit. I would, and I'm not going to make the motion, so somebody else can make the motion how they want to craft an idea here. But I just think this is a worthwhile thing to try and create an opportunity for people in this situation. Commissioner Caban, can I go to Commissioner Matlow, who's been waiting patiently, and I'll come back to you.
I'll be brief anyways.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I appreciate what you're trying to do. And I think this is a problem probably as old as time with road construction. And I do think there are improvements that can be made to our processes in Blueprint and in coordination with the city as these projects roll out to do better coordination with the businesses, particularly with signage up front and making sure accessibility really stays clear. I think that's a fight we have with contractors quite a bit who care less about local businesses. And I've been one of those business owners on Gain Street. I've shared that frustration of revenues dropping 50, 60%. I once had a mud pit in front of my door with a 2x4 plank walk that the contractor put up to be called access to the front door. And that's miserable. I saw a lot of my friends' businesses close during the Gain Street renovation. But I also recognize the slippery slope nature of the expense of what we're talking about. So you're 50 businesses on Market Street, $500,000. Railroad Avenue, we closed for a year and a half just last year. All the businesses in the Gain Street corridor were down 20% during that construction. We look at Capitol Circle expansions that take forever, ton of businesses. You mentioned Bannerman. So I just wonder if we're going down a route where now we're committing $5, $10, $20 million if we're including all of our projects, being able to do less projects in the long run to create this policy? Or are we setting up a situation where we did it for Market Street and that's it, right? And I think that will pose a tremendous problem with communities. I do think if there's creative ways to get involved to drive traffic there as it's completed, ways we can help, I think we should look at that. I think we do need to be better during construction management. And the long-term goal for everybody is once these projects are complete, the business will be better than ever based on the foot traffic that's driving in that direction. So I'm not sure I would support a blanket fund to just get money. And $10,000 might save some businesses. It might not, right? It depends on the situation of that business. And so if there's no benchmarks for even taking money and then knowing how long you can continue to be operational, you run the risk of somebody taking 10 grand and then they close up shop and they still don't make it. So there's just so many hurdles that we would have to face. And then if we did go down that route, I would, to Director Bauer's point, I'm not sure shoring up businesses is economic development. I think that is the role of OAV. And I would say if having an expense of a road construction project to make sure businesses don't go under, that should be funded under that road construction project's budget and not economic development if we did go down that route. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Caban.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So an idea also that we could talk about is just giving short-term, like interest-free bridge loans. So oftentimes I see like this construction and marketplace, not only is it hard for the businesses, for patrons to have access to certain of the businesses, but it's happening in fall and spring which are the most profitable times a year. I think if we could also time projects in the summer or going into summer, Tallahassee is very seasonal. I think the impact on some of these businesses will be significantly less. And I get it. I know it's really hard to time that with when contractors are available. So I understand. But to whatever extent that we can, I think timing it, though it's in the down season, would have less impact on businesses. But Mr. Chair, I am open to supporting you on this endeavor, however possible, even bringing it up at a county commission meeting. During the May 10th tornadoes, I had, my board's support on the incentive program or the grant program that we had, which I've heard of dozens of businesses that $5,000 to $10,000 grant that they got, those business owners literally said it saved their business. And so I believe in what you're trying to do, and I've seen it work firsthand, and I'm open to supporting you both here in OEV or in the county commission chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Command. Commissioner Richardson's in there, and then you can hop back in if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to agree with Commissioner Matlow. There are other areas of town, and College Town in particular, Commissioner Matlow, where because of the construction that's going on down there, some of those businesses, I'm sure, have been negatively impacted by that. I think what we have done as a city to assist those businesses, because we're talking about construction. We're not talking about a natural disaster, a tornado or hurricane. Certainly, I could see us supporting those businesses from that perspective. But for construction, I have a hard time getting there, because what we can do going forward is make sure that that doesn't happen again. There was no intent for it to happen this time around, but like I said, we felt like we did all of the things we needed to do. We listened to the business owners. We had staff work with them to address the issues that they brought up, which cost money. I mean, that was money that was already put into those projects for the signage and all of the other things that had to be done to increase the opportunities for customers to reach those businesses. This one, I just have a hard time getting to, because it's construction. And there are things that we can do to make sure that that doesn't happen as we work with contractors. I mean, I'm thinking about, for instance, the Southside Transit Center, right across the street from that construction is a convenience store, and if there were, I'm sure, things that they did to make sure that the construction that was going on across the street didn't impact the business of that store, which I don't think that it did. I'm by there all the time, and I still see a lot of customers patronizing that store. So it's just, I have a hard time getting there when, of course, we can make sure that that doesn't happen again by working with our contractors, subcontractors in that respect, without creating another financial incentive for those businesses. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Commissioner Matlow, you had the second run at it, and then Commissioner Minor.
Sure. Thank you. And so I'd like to make a motion that we bring back an agenda item for discussion that adopts a policy related to blueprint projects and local businesses. And what I'd be looking for is, what I heard from a lot of businesses, there wasn't enough communication, there wasn't enough signage. So basically a policy that lays out when we're limiting access, specifically who will be included in signage, where signage is going, when the local businesses get personally contacted by a representative, so they all have a direct point of contact before road construction starts, and if there's any change along the way, because when people are calling our offices, there's a problem. that, you know, they don't need to contact us if they're running into those types of issues. And then I would also look to have that policy include, as part of our communications and advertising budgets, ways we can communicate with the public, even through paid media or social media routes that continue to be open and shore up the shops. And that way, and if there's any other ideas that wanted to be included, a loan program, those sorts of things, certainly open to including those for discussion going forward.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Matlow. We've got a motion. Do you guys understand that motion? Okay. And then, gosh, I was going to say something when you were talking and I lost my train of thought. I mean, I think this is, I would be interested to see. I mean, my question was, is that not already practice as opposed to policy? I mean, I assume you guys already do a lot of that, right? We're just talking about codifying that basically in a policy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the, we absolutely employ community outreach, door-to-door, meet with neighborhood associations, merchants associations, based in the market district. I think one of the complicating factors is that some of these infrastructure projects are so big that they are multi-jurisdictional. So like, for example, you have like a blueprint project like Orange Avenue widening, but it's really more a DOT project that's being led by DOT. It's on a state highway. So they have their own practices that they employ. And if they're implementing that project, even though it's a blueprint project, they would take the lead on their road. You know, so we may not be able to apply a blueprint policy to DOT in that case. So that does add a complicating factor.
I mean, I think it's a good base starting point in terms of an agenda item. If you guys wouldn't mind, and if I could add to that, you know, just again, maybe look at potential funding mechanisms for impact payments or relief.
Well,
I mean, if there's nothing, you can just say there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what we do have by law are, we have a real estate policy that Blueprint has adopted, and we also have we have property impact laws, right, in the state of Florida. And if a business is damaged by a project, there are business damages that are paid by Blueprint. Right, and the difference is there, though, we would be actually impacting their property. Like, we may take a parking spot that may reduce the amount of customers that can come to their business, and there's formulas and calculations for that. In this case, like the market district, the work is being done in the public right-of-way, which, of course, the public agency has the right to do. So in that case, I think a communication effort is probably, is the manner in which we or the city or the county employ. And I think the other thing that's worth stating is that Blueprint projects we have developed a very positive reputation for the economic benefit that Blueprint projects bring. We can see where the infrastructure has been invested in Cascades Park, Cascades Trail, Franklin Boulevard. It's our great example of how, yes, there is an impact from construction, but the resulting factor is a positive impact in the area. Property values, taxable values increase as a result of the Blueprint projects. Investment, reinvestment in vacant structures and vacant properties occur. So that's part of it. And we can't make these improvements without, in some cases, shutting the road down. I mean, Magnolia Trail just completed, those neighborhoods had to endure over a year's worth of a road being completely shut down. But what do we see when it's done? I mean, unfortunately, it's beautiful, but you don't see all of the completely upgraded new water and sewer infrastructure that's gone on underground underneath the road, which is the reason for the power lines are all underground, and you just can't do that without shutting the road down.
Yeah, I get it. I got it. Okay. Commissioner Minor, I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the motion is a good one. I think it'll be good to have this come back to us. One thing I'd like to add, if you could add this, if you consider adding this as a friendly amendment, is Commissioner Matlow, you said that this is a problem we've had since the beginning of building roads, I think, or something similar to that, which is certainly true. But we're also not the only community to have this issue. So I would, if you would accept a friendly amendment, to have this agenda item also give us a sense for the best practices that other communities have adopted within the state of Florida that seem to work, because that could be a good guide for us on what our options might be here.
Accepted.
Accepted.
Okay, great.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
You know, one thing that came to mind that it's not a blueprint project, but it's similar. You know, we're building the charging stations right next to Lucky Goat on South Adams. You know, they protested because we were going to be taking their parking spaces. And I'm sure that it has had an effect on the business at that Lucky Goat because of the construction, took away some of their parking spaces. And like I said, I know it's not a blueprint project, but could they make the case, well, you did it for the businesses in Midtown, what about us? You know, we've been impacted, our business has been impacted by this construction right next door to us. What about us? Are we eligible for those funds? And so that's what we're going to be looking at, for sure, you know, as we go forward with something like this. So,
Yes.
I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. No, Mr. Vice Chair, I recognize it's a bit of a Pandora's box, and that's why I mentioned that it was a slippery slope, and I wanted to get everybody's input on how to maybe try somehow to address that either. And it may be, you know, again, that's a city project, maybe a city problem. If a county project, it could be something we address at the county, you know, or again, if we could all address it around this table with Blueprint, you know, it's worthwhile conversation. So any other discussion? Are you guys clear on what Commissioner Matlow asked for in that motion? Okay. Listen, thank you for having that conversation. I think it's a worthwhile conversation to have. Like I said, we got projects coming online in the next few years, and they're going to continue to disrupt. And again, it would apply blanket. It would be, you know, it would be the Lucky Goat on South Adams as well as everywhere else. And I also recognize the residential aspect of that if we talk about Magnolia Drive and people losing access to their homes and things like that. So I get it. But I just think it's worthwhile to look at. So we've got yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a note on that.
Sure.
That access is always provided to people's homes and to businesses at all times. It may vary depending on the contractor, but that's a rule. Yeah.
I was interested on sort of business impacts to commercial, not even I'm talking about not even offices. I'm talking about retail and restaurants, right? Like businesses that rely on foot traffic. We've got two entrepreneurs in that space around this table, and I think that's good information to hear from, right? And I recognize it's a historical problem and all that stuff. So, yes, ma'am.
But you're saying retail and restaurants, but there's a dry cleaners there too. They're suffering as well.
Well, that would be retail to me.
Okay. The dry cleaners is retail?
Anything that's selling a product that requires foot traffic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The retail's, anything that's making money. Okay, commissioners, thank you for the discussion. All those in favor of Commissioner Matlow's motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Commissioner Cummings?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Cummings, do you have any discussion items?
No discussion item for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your patience. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
When I mentioned neighborhood, might need us to move a little faster. You table it until we got to your item. So are we considering asking staff to come back with this information to a special meeting, a meeting before June, or?
You know what? I'm totally fine with that. So if you need that direction from me, or you want to give that direction, or somebody wants to give that direction?
I just want to make sure neighborhood
I got
get what they need.
I'll call a special meeting whenever you want, Commissioner Williams-Cox. So as soon as staff can have us, if staff can tell us a general idea of when they can have an item back, we can meet and vote on it.
Okay, staff, when do y'all think y'all could get something back on neighborhood?
Commissioner Williams-Cox, so what we'd have to do is commission a economic impact analysis through the Center of Economic Forecasting and Analysis at FSU. We'd have to get the input and a programmatic review from our Citizens Advisory Council at EVLC. So those things, I would say we're looking at 30 to 45 days.
So we're talking mid-May?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we meet June 11th, so maybe a month early, mid-May.
You know, days matter.
Absolutely. Well, you
So if we meet in May, then we can forego the June meeting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just scheduling a meeting will create conflicts and difficulty in and of itself, no matter when we do it. So,
If I may, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
What we could do with the direction is not set a specific date at this point, but you could direct us to work with the chair to set up a special meetings are typically a single topic special meeting. And so it would be a special meeting that we would work through the chair to poll a potential date and then establish just the agenda with that topic and only that topic.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Awesome. We got a motion and a second from Commissioner Cox, second from Commissioner O'Keefe. Discussion, Commissioner O'Keefe.
Can we limit it to just that topic for real, for real?
That would be how a special
Thank
meeting
you.
would specifically
It'd
work.
have to be, I think. Okay, any discussion on that?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just going to point out my consistent motions when we schedule our meetings to have more meetings per year to avoid this, but I support the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Matlow. All right, we've got a motion from Commissioner Williams-Cox and seconded from Commissioner O'Keefe, and y'all understand that motion. Awesome. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you, Commissioner Cummings. All right, commissioners, is there any other business y'all want to talk about, or?
Move adjournment.
Move for adjournment.
Second, and a motion for adjournment, and second, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.